I want to speak specifically to that couple, and I don't know if it's the husband or the wife. And again, they've been married maybe 20, 30 years. And this is the rut that they have been following now. They haven't done the cherishing. Again, they love each other. They don't always like each other. And it's the way they communicate with each other, etc. How would you give them hope as we sign off today? What do you say to them about changing it tonight rather than going after each other verbally? What can they do differently? I don't really like foot rubs. I mean, what would be an approach that couple could take tonight to turn the course of their marriage into something that honors the Lord?
Here's where I think cherishing can point to an entirely different marriage and why this mindset thing matters. I was in Winnipeg in February. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
Yeah.
You don't know cold.
I think July
until you've
is
been
when
in
you
Winnipeg in February. Met a delightful man named Terry who had 2 different marriages. Both wives died of a terrible disease. And he had heard me talk on marriage, and he just said, Gary, what you say is so true, but I want to share my story with you. He had been married to his first wife for, I think, 17 years, and she'd been fighting cancer for 5 years, and the last 7 months, around-the-clock care. Just had to do everything. And when your wife gets that sick, that's all you can do. She died, and he was single for 4 years, and then married his second wife, who would later die of cancer. But he said his second marriage was so much richer and happier than his first marriage, not because his second wife was more excellent than his first wife. He said, I knew them both well because he'd been married to both of them for almost 2 decades. He goes, my attitude was completely different.
So it was a bit more about him than them.
I treated them like you're talking about. I treated my wife like royalty. I treated my second wife like royalty. I called her princess. I treated her like one. I served her. He goes, I got used to doing that with my first wife when she went through cancer and I had to do everything. And I had to do everything as a single man. So I just kept doing that for my second wife. And she was so grateful and she was so happy. And she thought she had, already got a taste of heaven. I didn't know that husbands acted like this, but he didn't realize I didn't act like that in my first marriage. But what really hit me and what I would really stress is that he was adamant. It's not that my second wife was more excellent than my first. That's not why we had a happier marriage. It's that my attitude was so different. I cherished my second wife and had a much happier marriage. And so I'm saying, regardless of what your spouse does, if you cherish your spouse, I believe you're going to have a happier marriage.
Yeah. Gary, this has been so encouraging, and I know you have offered a lot of hope and even motivation to couples who say, how can we do this better? So thank you for that. We have a lot more to cover in your book, Cherish, the one word that changes everything for your marriage. And I want to invite you back next time so we can dig a little deeper and find out more of the great truth that you have found in this idea of not only loving your spouse, but cherishing them. Can we do it?
I'm eager to do that. Thank you.